Sorry you guys, I have been working on this comparison review for what feels like forever and I'm so happy that I'm to the point where I can distribute it for your viewing pleasure. So I have 6 Spanish curriculums that I'm going to be doing complete reviews on, compiled into this video. I will have master books, Academy Spanish, Song School Spanish, Flip Flop Spanish, Simply Charlotte Mason Spanish, Calico Spanish, and Llamitas Spanish. And unless I end up picking up more along the way because I'm a little pre-filming this intro. But I have a lot of Spanish videos or a lot of Spanish reviews for you guys. And so this video is going to get very long very quickly. And so what I will do is I will put timestamps down below. So if there's a specific curriculum or two that you want to see, you can just quickly fast forward. Some of these I have individual reviews for that I will also link down below in the description bar in case you want to go and check those out. But I tried to be as comprehensive and concise as I possibly could in all of these reviews. Whenever I do reviews, I like to go very in depth. It's the way my brain works. Whenever I'm shopping for something, first thing I want to know, like, okay, what's the price? Like, is this going to be easily manageable for our family? Next is, what is this going to look like for our family? Like, you know, what are the grades? What are the ages that you can use it for? What is the time? You know, is this something that I can truly juggle into my schedule? And then all of the extra information that helps me to make decisions and then I'm sure helps a lot of you. So I try to be very in-depth with these reviews. I hope that this can be a blessing to you. I'm going to go ahead and flip around the camera and start the flip throughs. Alright you guys, so this is the box it arrives in. Isn't it lovely? So as you open it up, you get your readers, which I'll show you in a bit, and the curriculum book. Alright, so let's go over the readers first. So you guys get this little book that has phrases and some sentences in Spanish for your child to read throughout the curriculum. And you get the phrases in both Spanish and then right under it you get them in English. All right, now for the curriculum book. So as you open it up, you get a welcome/introduction area. And so on the left side of each page is going to be the directions in Spanish, and then on the right side will be the directions in English. And then as you go through it, you're going to get a list of essential items, some additional resources, and information on printing, as well as information on the readers that I just showed you guys. Then you will get a list of the letters your child is going to cover, the syllables, and then scope and sequence, and some core unit vocabulary. And then in the vocabulary, it goes over what each theme of the unit will be. So at the time of filming, this curriculum is $147 for the digital pack, or you can get the digital and printed books for $197. I will have this link down below in case you want to check it out and see if this is something that will work in your homeschool or not. This is geared towards ages 5 to 10 for beginners and ages 5 to 7 for those who are bilingual or who are native Spanish speakers. And they do offer placement quizzes if you're not quite sure where to place your child. This is a dual language style Spanish curriculum, and in level 1 your child will cover the phonics of Spanish, and this includes practicing the Spanish alphabet and each letter sound that is made. They will also practice consonant and vowel blending, counting syllables, and more. They will also learn literacy, grammar, and writing, which includes 24 short stories with audios, comprehension questions, event sequencing, rhymes, poems, and more. Your child will also be covering math in this curriculum, so they will learn addition and subtraction with numbers 1 to 10, identifying and sorting objects and patterns, and naming 2D shapes and counting to 100. Finally, they will also be learning with music and art. So this includes activities like cutting and coloring to develop their fine motor skills, crafts and recipes, art studies on famous Hispanic artists, and they will also receive 21 Spanish nursery rhymes as well as vocabulary games and movement activities. So this is a very well planned out curriculum, as you can see. At the beginning of each unit, you will get a list of goals and supplies and additional resources that you can find in your online student portal. And I'll give you guys a walkthrough of the student portal in a bit. Now, the curriculum as a whole is broken up into 12 units by theme. Some of these themes include ocean, farm, safari, jungle, family, fruits and vegetables, community helpers, and more. There are 6 lessons within each unit for a total of 72 lessons, and it's recommended to do 2 to 3 lessons a week, and these will take about 20 to 30 minutes per lesson. These lessons are designed to be open and go, so no parent prep is needed, which is so nice. And they are also scripted in both English and Spanish. So if you are like me and not a native Spanish speaker and need a little extra help, that is a very nice feature to have. Now, as you make your way through the curriculum, you'll find the units repeat their activities and in their new themes, and this is done intentionally to help build your child's confidence as they gain repetition throughout what they're doing. Now, like I mentioned, you can get the printed or the digital version, and I will walk you guys through what your student portal looks like. You can literally print this entire book if you choose to just go with the digital version instead of paying for the books as well. But if you don't have a printer that is great on ink, then it is such a nice option to be able to get the books printed and sent to you. Now, if you do choose the digital version, this textbook does have 300 pages to print, and the reader has another 50 pages. They do, I believe, have it geared to doing double-sided printing, but that's obviously going to be for you to decide what works best for your family. Now, I'm going to go ahead and finish flipping through the rest of the book for you guys and then give you a look at the student portal. Alright, you guys, so this is the SpanishOne curriculum on their site. I just wanted to walk you through real quick where you can go to purchase it. So when you are on their site, it gives you a lot of information on what the curriculum is about, tells you what you will be covering, and then as you go all the way to the bottom, it will give you the price. And so as you can see, it is $147 for the digital version and $197 for the digital and printed. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that you get lifetime access. So you can work at this at your own pace. And one of the nice things is if you have a big family, multiple kids, you can use this over and over for each of your kids. And so once you click enroll now, then it will take you to basically paying for the course. Now I'm going to go into the student portal. Alright, you guys, so this is what your student portal looks like. So it is basically the exact same as the binder. So I'm not going to go super in depth, but I will give you an overview of all of the additional resources that you get. So when you first go in, you get your welcome to the curriculum information sheet. You get some legal and copyright information. You get some information on what is SoundCloud and how to use it. It's basically their host for their audio playlists. And then you get your textbook cover that you can print off. You get all of the readers, and one of the really nice things about the readers is you can choose to print with the translations or without. So remember in the flip through when I was showing you the reader at the very beginning of the flip through, and the sentences and phrases, they all had English translations. Well, you can choose to go in here and print them off without the English translations if you want to give your child a little bit more of a challenge as they grow in their skills of speaking Spanish. Now, you can also click in order to print. So if you ended up purchasing their digital version and you're like, do you know what, I actually really do want the printed binder, maybe it's going to be too much for you to print, you can, I clicked on co-op. Let me go down and click on family. You can click upgrade here, and so you can go ahead and order the printed version for $50 plus $10 in shipping, so it ends up being $59.95. So as you go down, they will also have a FEPI book bundle. FEPI is a book company, and so they have partnered together to expand some of the reading options that you get. They offer some books done in Spanish that you can get your children. It is an optional thing. It's not required, and it is for an additional fee through that company, but you can get your children some books to read in Spanish if you feel the desire to. Now here you can print off an index, which is basically the scope and sequence, keep track of their progress, and then this tab is super cool. So they give you book menus. And so if you go to download, it will give you some additional reading options for your children. And so the really cool thing is that they separate them by theme. So Unit 1 was on ocean. So they give you some readers in Spanish on the ocean. And then these are some beginning reader book or some books for beginners. If you scroll down, there are some Spanish books for intermediate speakers or native speakers, and they continue this with each unit and whatever the theme is, and I think that that is so cool and so fun. Now if I go back, you can go and print off some diplomas. So once your child is completely done with the curriculum, they have multiple different diplomas that you can pick from to print. If your child likes a certain animal, you have many different options on what diploma you can print off, which I think is really fun. Now to go back, if you do purchase just the digital version, you can go right here to print off the lessons. I don't want to click on that tab because they do have a password protecting the lessons, and so I don't just want to give that out. But you can basically print off the lessons. They do recommend printing them off as you go, and they separate them by unit. So the first unit is on ocean, it's lessons 1 to 6, and then they give you some additional resources for each unit, and this is really fun because you can get a Spotify playlist, they give you some craft ideas, you can print off flashcards, and they give you some additional printables, so your child can have some letter copy work to do, some word copy work, some activities, and then at the very bottom they even have a coloring page with a sentence in Spanish. And then that is basically what every unit does. You can print off the units and then go to the additional resources tab. And so there's a lot of loving care and time and effort that went into this curriculum, and I really appreciate the author and how much resources she has given us to work into the curriculum and just make it a well-rounded, fun curriculum to teach your children Spanish. And so once you get through the curriculum and you're all done, if you want to move up to the next curriculum, it kind of gives you a brief overview on what level 2 looks like. Look at that gorgeous artwork, you guys. That is stunning. It is so colorful and beautiful, and man, like that alone sells me on it. Then it gives you some additional information on what they will be covering. And if I continue scrolling down, it even gives you a coupon code for the next level. So that is it. All right, you guys, so this is the Master Books Academy Beginning Spanish for Families. At the time of filming, this is $89.95, and you get access to it for 1 year. And I'm going to have this link down below in case you want to check it out, see if it feels like it's right for your family. One of the nice things about this curriculum is it is geared towards all ages. It's geared, like it says, for families. So you can do this with everybody in tow, from toddler to high schooler. This is just really flexible in its approach. So as you can see, we got like, I think the first 2 lessons in, and then our year just got crazy, so we did not get to complete it. So I will answer questions to the best of my ability, but just because of how crazy things got, I didn't get to finish it. No judgment, okay? We listen and we don't judge. So one of the really great things is I did email Masterbooks and I said, hey, you know, I was pregnant when I first bought this, and my pregnancy was just really hard, and so we didn't get a chance to do it. And I know it's going to expire soon, so will you guys possibly, you know, extend it for me? And they said, yeah, we have no problem doing that. Just email us when it expires and we'll help you out. And I thought that was such wonderful customer service and just so like phenomenal to work with families, because I mean, you guys know homeschool curriculum is not cheap and every penny matters. So if you don't get to finish a curriculum that has digital access, it kind of stinks on the budget. Now, sorry for that long-winded response. I just wanted you guys to know that, you know, if you don't possibly finish it, Masterbooks is pretty flexible depending on the situation, and they, you know, they might have some leniency with you. So with this, you're going to have a total of 12 units with anywhere from 3 to 7 lessons in each unit. And this is a video-based course. So you have a teacher going through it with you, walking your child step by step through it, which is really nice if you are not a native Spanish speaker. Now, prior to signing up, you do get a free preview of Unit 1, and you can go through that, watch the videos, see some of the printables that you can do, and kind of get a feel for it before you commit to it. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side, so right here is just a course overview. It goes over some of the cultural components, the content, some of the activities, and all of that. So like right here, it says most videos are 90% in Spanish, which provides maximum language exposure while making the input comprehensible due to the visual aids, links to prior knowledge in English, gestures, and other extralingual cues and supports. So that way your learners can interpret new linguistic cues and understand what is going on. And I really liked that from the few videos that we did get to take part in. And then it just goes over a little bit more information on the course. And then over here on this left-hand side is where you will actually access your content. So number 2 is what you do before you begin. Some of the things that you're going to print, cover pages if you want to make a little binder, table of contents, and the course guides for each section of the units that you can print out, as well as an answer key. And then after that, it jumps straight into the units. And so in this first unit, it goes over some Spanish that you may already know. It has a prayer to memorize in Spanish, and then the videos and activities for each of the lessons. After this, you're going to cover some hellos and goodbyes, numbers, expressions of politeness, colors, your family, emotions, beverages, hot chocolate, the calendar, and then it will end with a review and a reader's theater. And in the reader's theater is where you will combine everything that you have learned to do a fun story listening activity. And then you can even have the opportunity to do some course feedback. Now, as far as time, some of the lesson videos range anywhere from 8 minutes to 22 minutes. So as you can see right here, like lesson 1 is almost 12 and a half minutes, and then about 11 and a half minutes, 12 and a half minutes. So it's nothing that's, you know, too wildly long that you're gonna struggle with or get bored with, or that's gonna be, you know, overly challenging. Now, one of the things that might be a con to some of you is that these lessons are pre-recorded, so you won't be able to ask any questions. But they are, like I said, they're video-based lessons. So, I mean, it's really nice that
All right, so I just clicked on one of the videos just so you can get an idea, but I closed out the volume just so she wouldn't be talking over me, and then, you know, copyright laws and all that. So, like I was saying, if you're not a native Spanish speaker, this is really great. Even though you can't ask questions, you at least get to hear her, hear how it's pronounced. You won't have any struggles in that area, and you kind of have somebody holding your hand and walking you along through the way. And if you do happen to have any questions, there is a Moms of Master Book Facebook group that is always so very helpful. And Master Books also has, like I said, wonderful customer service. If you do get stuck on anything, which I think it would be kind of hard to get stuck on something, but if you do, you can always reach out to them and, you know, ask them for whatever help that you're needing, and I'm sure that they'll be able to provide it for you.
All right, moving on to Speaking Spanish by Simply Charlotte Mason. So at the time of filming, this is $49.99 on Simply Charlotte Mason's website, and I'll have that link down below in case you want to check this one out. This comes with the book and audio files that will assist you in correct pronunciation. Now this is going to be a lot different than many of the Spanish curriculums that you're going to see today in this video. Charlotte Mason is big in the homeschool world, and as many of you know, she had a gentle approach to learning and liked to introduce children to living books and great musical composers. So while this book is framed with much of her teaching style, it is also blended with language teachings from a French instructor. Now, as the French instructor was learning German, he found that it was easier to learn it if he learned lists in a logical order. So for instance, I take a book, I open the book, I close the book. So everything that you would do in that sequence is the list that he learned how to speak each language in. And Charlotte Mason was big on narrating back to someone, whether it be a parent or a teacher. So that is how your child will learn Spanish within this text. They will learn it in a list. So like, I walk to the easy chair, I sit down in the easy chair, I yawn, I close my eyes, I bow my head, I sleep. And so as far as time-wise, the intro says that this can take 2 to 3 years to work through if you're learning a new series every 1 to 2 weeks. Each series builds on the one prior to it, and with your child learning new verbs in each one. When it comes to the lessons, you get the English version on the left right here, and then in Spanish on the right here. So your child will need to know the English portion by heart, as well as be able to act it out before moving on to the Spanish section. There will be a section for verbs covered that they will need to say and act out from memory as well. Once your child starts working on the Spanish section, they will start with learning the verbs and acting them out as they're recited. Once your child can do this, they will then move on to learning the sentences while continuing to act them out. Your child will be encouraged to copy everything once they have learned it to help solidify their understanding. And so let me just keep flipping through for a bit for you guys so you can see the rest of the book. So kind of like I already mentioned, you have the sentences in English, the responses that you would naturally give. Down here, as you have progressed throughout the end of the book, you get a story. And then over here in Spanish, you have the same exact thing. So the sentences that they learned right here that they need to act out, and then they'll act it out again when they're saying it in Spanish, and then some natural responses that they would give, and then the story. So that is it. I'm going to move on to the next curriculum now.
First, I'm going to take you guys online real quick and give you a quick look at some of their prices as well as other things that they offer there. So first, you can sign up for a free trial. Let me go over to pricing. All right, so as you can see, there's one subscription per teacher, and you get to access everything, and you can use it with unlimited students. This is really nice if you have multiple kids because you get access to all of their levels for one subscription price. So it's not like you have to pay per student. So in order to access the full curriculum on a monthly basis, it's $39 per month. If you want to do it for the year, then it is $329. or you can go the 5-year route for $1,299. And with that, each curriculum, you will have 32 story videos, 27 music videos, 365 lesson plans, 15 storybooks, 549 flashcards, and you can see the rest. So let me go ahead now and log on. Okay, so this is their online parent portal, and just to mention going forward, this curriculum is designed for elementary aged students. So here is their sites, and so right now we are currently in level A, but as you can see, you get access to level B, level C, as well as level D. And then here they have their resource library, where you can access all of their digital information. So the video stories, the music videos, dialogue videos, songs and stories, storybook videos, flashcards, activity sheets, games, teacher manuals or materials, and then posters. So let's look at the teacher's materials real quick, because you do not get a book with the student activity books when you add those. So you're going to need to go into your online teacher portal. And then like right here for level A, you can download it. And then it kind of just walks you through. So like you get a table of contents, all of the vocabulary that your child will learn. The numbers. And then some of the vocabulary games that you will play, as well as the music videos and the lyrics that go with them. And then some of the verbs. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. And then some of the suggested answers for some of the student activities. And then that's basically it once it gets to that section. So now we will go back to their main site. Okay. All right, so we are going to scroll down a bit, and this is where you get an introduction to the level that you're on, as well as a lesson checklist and a student progress checklist. And here you can either view it or download it, whichever you desire to do the most. And right here is where you will access all of the units. So in each level, there are 8 units, and each unit is anywhere from 11 to 13 lessons long. So you're going to have about 93 days worth of lessons for your school year. Each lesson is designed to be about 20 to 30 minutes long. And if you do about 3 lessons a week, then that equals about 31 weeks for your school year. I like to mention that just because I like to know, is this going to be a full 36 weeks, or are we going to have a little bit of wiggle room if some of the year gets crazy? So I took you guys through the resource library and the teacher's guide. Let's go and look at some of the daily lessons. So right here, you'll click on the unit that you're on, and then here are all of the lessons right in this area for that specific unit. So you're going to start here. You get the overview of what level 1 is, some of the can-do statements, all of basically the objectives for that unit, and then you get your Unit 1 resource library. So this is actually really nice that they break it up into the resource library, but then they break it down even further into what level you are on, as well as what unit you're on. And then these are all of the video stories that you are going to utilize during Unit 1. So let's take a quick look at day 1. So it says you're going to begin class by introducing today's can-do statement, participate in a community builder activity to get to know each other. You're going to watch a music video. You're going to review some flashcards. You're going to watch the vocabulary video and video story, and then practice introducing ourselves. And then there's some supplemental activities if you want to add those in. So here is your introduction. Here is your community builder. Here is the music video that you are going to play for your child. And as you can see, that's about 1 minute and 18 seconds. It's nothing that's too long or complicated or anything like that. Here are the flashcards that you will use for that day. And then the vocabulary, and this is a 36-second video. And then here is a video story. And this one is about 3 minutes and 39 seconds. And then there will be speaking practice, greeting others, and then a supplemental activity which has a video story if you want to add in a little more, which is another 3 minute and 39-second video. And then there is a supplemental game activity that you can give to your child to play. All right, so that is the end of day 1. And actually these videos are the same, the video story and then the supplemental video, but it says show the video story again. This time pause on Pedro and ask learners to tell him hola in the best whisper voice, opera voice, or growl. Do the same with the character Carlos. So it's basically the same video, just a little different approach to practicing their introductions. So if your child is brand new to Spanish and you're not quite sure whether they would be in level A, B, C, or D, they do have a placement quiz, which you can click on right here. And then it asks you some questions and you can quickly determine which level your child will be in. And then they watch a short video, and if they can understand all of these things, then they would move on to the next level, if that makes sense. So now I'm gonna go ahead and stop here, and I'm going to give you guys a quick flip through of the workbooks.
All right, you guys, so I'm going to do a quick flip through of each one of these student activities books just so you can see how your child will progress through the program, completing all lessons. Now, at the time of filming for this 4-pack, it is $89. I'm going to go ahead and link it down below in case you want to check it out, see if it's right for your homeschool. So this is level A, and as you open it up, you're going to get your table of contents, and then you get a progress checklist of everything that is going to be their objectives for the first 12 days, and then it jumps right into the activities. So the primary goal of Calico Spanish is to develop a learner's receptive language skills, and as learners begin to understand messages spoken to them in Spanish and they build a basic framework, they can then begin crafting their own messages in Spanish. So as you can see, there are lots of fun activities in some of these workbooks. There's some fill in the blank activities, some word search activities, coloring pages, and so much more to keep your child engaged. The assignments are a mix of English and Spanish, with some asking questions in English and then your child gives the answer in Spanish, or sometimes even vice versa. In level A, children will learn to talk about themselves in simple ways, including greetings and exchanges, some basic information like name, age, likes, and description. The color focus for this book is going to be on blue and yellow, and then the number focus is on the numbers 1 to 3, and the calendar focus is on the days of the week. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys level B. So it has the same setup. You get your table of contents, the progress checklist, and then all of the assignments. Now, level B teaches learners how to talk about their families in simple ways, including naming and describing family members and pets, and discussing likes and dislikes. The color focus for this level is going to be brown, white, and black, and the number focus is numbers 4 to 6, and then the calendar focus is on months of the year. And you can see it's the same setup, same types of activities, makes it engaging for the students. Let's do a quick flip through of level C. All right, so level C teaches learners to use simple language to talk about activities around the house like eating, playing games, and some daily routines. The color focus for this book is on red and green, and the number focus is on the numbers 7 to 12. And they will also learn how to tell the time, or I guess speak the time, in Spanish. All right, lastly, we're going to go through level D. So in level D, learners will learn how to talk about clothing, weather, seasons, and some outdoor activities. The color focus on this one will be pink and orange, and the number focus will be on the numbers 20 to 100. And then the calendar focus will be on the seasons. So they're going to learn a wide array of different things throughout each level. Let me go ahead and give you guys a look inside of the comic books now. All right, so this 4-pack is $54.99. It has one comic book per level, so level A, B, and then C and D. I'll have the link to the comic books. They're considered add-ons down below in the description bar. And they help immerse your child in the adventures of the characters that they're meeting in their daily lessons for whatever level it is that they're on. So these are really fun. I know that my son absolutely loves comic book formats, and so I think that he will love reading these once we eventually make our way to being able to work Spanish into our homeschool year. This year has been a bit of a challenge in that area. So this is level C. As you see, they're bright and colorful. They're fun little stories. And then level D. And then also in the back of the book, they have all of the vocabulary that they went over, and they have the words in Spanish as well as English. And I really like this because if your child gets stuck on a certain word and they just cannot remember for the life of them, you know, what amigo means, then they can flip to the back of the book and they can see, oh, that's friend, and then they can just, you know, have some additional help tying it all together. So I really love that they put the vocabulary in the back of each of their comic books. Now on to Song School Spanish. So I will do a full flip through of the student book, and then I will do a quick flip through of the teacher guide so you guys can see inside both, get a feel for them. At the time of filming, each book is $29.95, or you can do $102.95 for both guides, flashcards, and the DVD set. So kind of just depends on how much you want to spend, but I like that you can have the options. I will link this down below as well, just in case you want to check it out if you feel like after this flip through this is right for your family. So you get a CD track information, schedule and pacing, chapter lessons, a note about code switching, some additional resources, and a suggested schedule, which is really nice. You also get a pronunciation guide, and then you jump into the lessons. Now, this is the first book in the series, and it is geared towards kindergarten through 2nd grade. This curriculum is also 31 chapters long, and it's recommended to cover 1 chapter a week. But you also remember, like, you know your children, so if you're also brand new to Spanish, then I don't see why you couldn't use this even with a 3rd, 4th, or 5th grader. The goal of this curriculum is to lay a foundation where children gain a strong vocabulary in Spanish, and in it they will learn 106 vocabulary words as well as some conversational Spanish and the language rules that go with it. This is done through songs, games, and some workbook activities. As far as time per lesson, this is designed to be a flexible curriculum, so if you only have time to do this once a week, you'll need to plan 45 to 60 minutes to cover the entire chapter and listen to the audio files between sessions. If you have more time than that, which they suggest doing this 3 to 4 times a week, with some of the songs being worked into each lesson and then here and there throughout the week, Your schedule should only take about 10 to 20 minutes a day if you're following a 3 to 4 day schedule. Now, if you decide to go with a 3-day-a-week schedule, your lessons for day 1 will look like having your child study the first page and read out their new Spanish words for the week. They will then listen to an audio file for the correct pronunciation of the words. Then they will listen to the chapter songs. On day 2, you'll have your child review the words that they learned in their prior lesson, and they will practice speaking them. Next, they will sing the songs that they've learned both with the CD and from what they can recall from memory. After this, they will complete whatever workbook activities they have and end the lesson with reciting them from memory for the new Spanish words that they have learned. Finally, on day 3, they will start by reciting all of their Spanish words from memory for the week. They will then sing this week's song from memory. And then again, they'll sing it with the CD. And then after this, they will review their songs from previous weeks, and we'll end this lesson by doing the show what you know activity at the end of each chapter. And I will give you guys a quick look at that. So show what you know. So draw lines to match each Spanish word to its English meaning. So here's the Spanish words on the left and then the English words on the right, and they'll do a matching activity for that. And then they will also review words. So it says draw lines to match the Spanish phrases to their English meanings. And so here's the Spanish, here's the English. Okay, so in a moment I will show you guys the teacher's guide, but basically in there it's just like a normal teacher's guide. There's going to be an answer key, some teaching tips, as well as some additional activities and practice sheets. So it's nothing too different than what you guys are already used to with other curriculums and teacher guides. There are additional resources that you can purchase, such as a matching game, a Spanish pronunciation files, as well as some extra songs. And as far as that is all of the information that I have left for you on this curriculum. So I'm going to continue flipping through, and then I'll give you a quick flip through on the teacher's edition. So this is See It, Say It, Flip Flop Spanish. At the time of filming for the box set, this will be $174.97, and I'll have it linked down below in case you want to check it out. If you choose just the digital download, that is $61.97. Or there's a bundle where you could get the digital download for the curriculum, and then you will also get a set of physical flashcards and the paddle for $107.97. So overall, you have many different options to purchase this curriculum. I'm going to go ahead and open up the box and show you guys what you get inside, and then I'll do a full flip through of the curriculum just so you can get a really good feel for it. So when you open it, you get your 3 different sets of flashcards, and then it kind of just goes over, 3 easy steps to assemble and kind of get started, what all you have inside, and then how often do you use this curriculum, just basically like a little intro. You will get your paddle. You also get the physical set for the curriculum. I already have it in a binder, so I'll flip through it in a moment, but you'll have that also in here. And then you get a dry erase marker, you get some blank flashcards, you get the side of the binder, I just didn't put it in, and then you get some flashcard holders. So now I'm gonna get the binder and do the flip through for you guys. All right, so this is the binder all set up. You get a cover for it. This I just have blocking the QR code that you'll need to access some audio files. So this is designed for the whole family, and it mimics the process that toddlers use in acquiring their first language. For this curriculum, you will complete it 3 times a week for about 10 to 15 minutes each lesson. This curriculum is designed around the Charlotte Mason method and is created for audio, visual, and tactile learners. This curriculum is filled with many different activities to help the whole family learn Spanish, such as picture cards, games, some charades, skits, and engaging lessons. This is an open and go curriculum, so your prep is very minimal, and it's literally just finding the cards for the lesson that you're on and pushing play on the audio files. And you guys know how much I love a little to no prep curriculum. So by the end of this curriculum, your family will know more than 250 words and thousands of possible different sentences to create. You'll learn common household nouns, the names of rooms in your home, the names of colors, food, family, clothing, animals, manners, places in town, different grammar concepts, and you'll play games along with all of it. At the beginning, like I mentioned, there is a QR code found on the cover, and you will use that to access your audio files for each lesson, or you can access them by going into your online account and finding them through the files that way. There are a total of 45 lessons, and each lesson will take about a week to work through, making this about a 2-year curriculum. So now let's go over what a week will look like. So the first and second day is when you will use the audio tracks. So the first day, you'll get the audio ready, you'll read the manual and pick out the cards for that day. And then on day 2, you'll complete the lesson. And then on day 2, you'll do the same lesson that you did on day 1, and you'll give your child a chance to play with the cards and lay out sentences and try to just combine everything, put it together. On the third day, you'll skip the audio, and instead you'll read the transcript that's within the lesson and encourage your child to interact with you in Spanish. So you are heavily encouraged not to move on to the next lesson until you have done the one that you're on 3 times. So they want to make sure that you're just really embracing it and memorizing it before you move on to the next one. This is not just like a checkbox curriculum. The last thing that I want to mention is the suggested semester schedule, which would be lessons 1 to 12 for semester 1. We'll have a 1-week break, and then semester 2 would cover lessons 13 to 22 and has 2 1-week breaks worked into it. So whether you want to take that all together or separately, that's up to you. Semester 3 would cover lessons 23 to 34 and has a 2-week break in between. And then finally, semester 4 would go over lessons 35 to 45 and has a 1-week break mixed within there. Each time you will pick back up from a break, you're going to want to go over your flashcards, and it will give you cues when to take your breaks, which I really like right here it will say break week, and I love that gentle reminder because sometimes it can just, you guys know, like your year gets crazy, you get in a rhythm and routine, and you're like, let's just get it done, and you sometimes forget to just pause and take it all in. Now, as far as those of you with high schoolers, I did reach out to Flip Flop Spanish and asked about if this covers any of the credits for languages that you'll need, and I accidentally deleted that email. I don't know what I was thinking, but if memory serves correct, and double check me here, okay? This is not gospel. This is not written in stone. Double check me, but I'm pretty sure that they said that 1 year of this would count as half a credit. Again, I could be wrong on how much it counted or the time frame that it counted, but I know that they said half a credit. So again, double check me, but for those of you with high schoolers, you should be covered to some degree. Okay, so that is the end of the flip through. I'm going to go ahead and flip around the camera now. All right, you guys, so that is the end of the review and flip through. I hope that you enjoyed seeing it. Hopefully it helps you to make a decision. If you have used any of these curriculums, please link down below or comment down below what your thoughts were on it, whether you liked it or didn't like it, your pros and cons, whether you would use it again, anything that you think a family who is looking for one of these Spanish curriculums could glean information from. I think that that would be a wonderful resource, especially because, you know, I have reviewed all of these, but I have not necessarily used all of them in depth. There's just not enough time, and there's so many curriculums. And so I hope that this has been a blessing. If you are looking at any of these curriculums, I will have it linked down below in the description bar, all of the affiliate links. Please consider using them if you decide to purchase and you found this video helpful. That would be such a blessing to us. It just helps me to run this channel, to continue to do these types of reviews. It doesn't change the price for you at all, and it is so very appreciated. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Hit that red subscribe button. If you have a friend looking for a Spanish curriculum, don't forget to send them this video. See if it can help them make their choice.